Let's see here. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone today. I have a horrible migraine. I took some medicine. I did a good bit of sharpening this morning. So as you guys straggle in, we'll talk about this. I'm not going to really repeat a lot of this stuff. So, well, Mr. Michaels. So I did sharpen this morning. Reat Jack, one of my favorite Reats ever. Sharpened this morning. I knew it was gonna be a bad day. It started to sprinkle about the time my daughter got ready to go to school. I got up early, started sharpening. I always wind up with a migraine on rainy days when it gets cold like this. So, Justin, what's going on? So, I took some migraine medicine and it makes me dopey and I just don't feel safe sharpening, considering the next stuff I get to sharpen is all kind of complex. Recurves and tontos and things like that. I really don't want to cut myself. But yeah, this is the Reat Jack in Damasteel and carbon fiber. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is these two knives. Now, this is a Gen 2. So this is a 2018, February, Jesus, the medicine, see, that's why I'm not sharpening. This is a March 2018, and this is an August 2017. And you can see there's some right up front. You can see one obvious difference, it's a pocket clip. So I will bring you around here and turn you around and we'll look down on it. So hang on a second. Let's do this in the easiest way possible. Just bring the whole frickin' shebang over here to my side. See me? So we'll look at a couple little differences real quick right up front. Now, the milling on these is pretty much identical. I'm not seeing any differences in size, shape. I do see a level of polish on the old one that could just be because of a lot of pocket time that you're not seeing on the new version. So the obvious first thing that you're going to see, you guys can see it, right? Pocket clip. Now, pocket clips are different, but other than that, pretty much they look real similar. You look at the finger, the flipper tab. Flipper tab's a little bit different. This one's a little bit less, this one's a little bit smaller, and the jimping on this is much more aggressive. I'm actually going to fix that for Dwayne. The flipper tab on this got a little bit more of a point to it, and the jimping is nowhere near as aggressive. Action on these just are always awesome. And if you guys see anything that you want me to talk about, go ahead and say it. So you can see, overall, blade shape's the same, but what did they do? Added a sharpening notch. Other than that, they are pretty much identical. This one I've already sharpened. This one is going to get sharpened and sent off. But, you know, markings are the same. Hardware's the same. I think that this one is recessed a little bit further than this one. This one doesn't seem to stand up as proud. But now we're going to talk about some issues. Now, as well, this, the newer version, has got a stiffer liner lock pressure. And the liner lock is just ever so slightly different. I don't know if you guys can see it. I think the liner lock actually is longer on this one. They look almost real similar, but this one just seems to be cut a little bit shorter than this one. So there's that. Now let's turn the camera back around again. I'm gonna fly you over here. Oh. I'm still here. I'm still here, guys. Doing this live. It's live. It makes more sense to do this in a video. I just didn't want to do a bunch of editing. So, what do I think about the differences? Well, here's my big problem. You guys know I don't like wire clips. The Spyderco style wire. Let me close this and I'll show you. See this? It feels cheap. What's up, Simon? This feels much more substantial. It doesn't move around. It's not that it's uncomfortable, it just feels weird in hand because it moves. So there's that. I would like to see, what I would have liked to have seen was keep this flipper tab. Add that into this and get rid of this and maintain a 2 point. The big problem with this is there's only 1 point. And I mean, it moves significantly, and that's tight. So you get a little bit of weirdness when it's in your hand. And so while this is, like, some of the upgrades on this were great, I think the jimping was a little bit too aggressive. And I don't like the shortened, rounded over end on that finger choil, or I mean that flipper tab. See, migraine medicine makes me stupid. No, it's meant for, it's just like a Spyderco. It's just a 1 point clip. What's up, Tammy? This had 2 points of holding and it was a solid clip. Now, I'll tell you why. I guarantee I'll tell you why. I talked with, when the first time I ever saw one of these, and I had one for a while, if you guys remember, I had bought one, or I had one bought for me. Dwayne Smotherman bought me one the same time he bought his. And it got stolen in the mail. And I really liked the knife, but I had to do some rectifying on it. Now, I like it, but the problem is, like I was saying, that's a single screw, and it's got the lines cut in it for a wire clip. Short of modifying the knife entirely, milling out a spot to put a pocket clip, and then putting a different style pocket clip on it, that's the only way to do it. But I was telling Elliot when I first got mine, and we looked at it, and he goes, how much are these? He goes, dude, those guys are making those knives for free. Because there's so much that goes into it that they're not charging. And so I think that, because this is an off-the-shelf part, you can order these. Spyderco doesn't make their own pocket clips. I'm telling you right now, you can order these pocket clips. It's an off-the-shelf aftermarket part. There are a ton of pocket clips out there. I've got several knives that have just got a standard, ordered it, bought it, and thrown on pocket clip on a production knife because it saves them doing it. It's cheaper to pay somebody else and buy them in bulk. Elliot did not ever like, Elliot at Fair and Forge never liked any of the pocket clips that you could get commercially. He tried a bunch of them, spent a bunch of money, and then came to a decision that he was just gonna make a pocket clip for his knives and make it standard pretty much. The large knives have the one that has 3 holes. The smaller knives like the NTAC and the Scepter have got a 2 attachment point pocket clip that's a little bit smaller. And so when he saw this, he goes, oh, because I showed him the comparison. I was like, hey, you remember when I showed you this? And this is the old one. And he was like, they're learning. They're learning that they're spending a lot of money by runtime on that pocket clip. Runtime's not free. It's not like China where you can run shit all the time. And there's a little bit of a difference. The last thing that I'm noticing is there's a little bit of difference to the amount that this is rounded and chamfered over. This feels a lot flatter than this one does. So, I mean, all in all, I would like to see a mingling of these two. Bring back this pocket clip. Get rid of this one. Keep this finger flipper, this flipper tab design. Get some of that jimping smoothed off a little bit. And here. And then keep this sharpening notch, and then you would have the perfect Skaha. If I can take the blade out of this one, put it in this one, and then round that, or maybe change that flipper tab just a little bit, I think it would be a lot more perfect. The action on them feels a little bit different too. This one has well, it's kind of dirty because I haven't cleaned it after sharpening, but this one's got some grit to it. But this has a lot softer touch to break that detent loose. And I think that has to do with, like I said, lock bar tension on this, or liner lock tension on this, is heavier than this one. So, okay, now, anybody got any questions? Because I'm in a question answering kind of mood because, like I said, I can't sharpen because migraine medicine makes me stupid, and I will cut myself. I know right now that if I go out there and try and sharpen that that little Spyderco, that little short one, it's gonna slide off and I'm gonna stick it in my hand. I can see it happening already. Oh, the sun peeked out, but it is supposed to rain. It's supposed to be like this all day. So, Alex 4. Hey, I think I know who that is. Is that Alex at Smoky Mountain Knife Works? So like I said, questions, anyone? Any new updates on the Hornets? Yes. I sent them an email Tuesday last week. Who is this? Alex 4. Oh, different Alex then. I sent the team at an email last week. I want to say Tuesday last week about the minor changes I wanted to make. They said they were going to bring up some new drawings for me to review. I'm going to review them and then tell them that, you know, if I think it's good, I think that just adding that material and changing hand materials is going to be fine. I don't know if there's going to have to be a production sample test, but that, I mean, that's why I didn't want to go too in depth and just try and, I could have, the slippery material, I could have gotten away with throwing in some checkering, but the problem was that adds additional time, additional review time, and I was like, if we just change the handles to G10, which is still not an unattractive material, and it's an outdoor style material, and there was some reasoning behind this too. The knife was never meant to be this beautiful work of art. It's a user, and it's an outdoor style kind of thing. A lot of people are probably gonna carry them for hunting and things like that. I didn't want that polished look. I wanted something more matte. I didn't want that slippery material. The checkering would have taken care of that, but it wouldn't have taken care of some of the other issues with it, like the polished carbon fiber, and the thickness. The thickness is an easy fix. Just add a millimeter to each side. We measured it against mats and said, okay, it's 2.5 millimeters shorter or thinner across the back than the other ones, or than the one I made for Matt. And so we took that measurement and I was like, I don't want to add 1.25 millimeters and all that. Let's just go with 2 millimeters. That should be a good starting point. So they are re-rendering. They're gonna send me drawings. There probably will have to be another set of samples for me to test and stuff like that. And then whenever they go into production. And here's another update. My trip to Blade is still up in the air. Yakov got in that accident. He couldn't come. He's not going to be able to go to Blade next month, I think. But if he can find us some lodging, he's going to send us the vouchers for the tickets, and we're going to go. If not, he's going to sell those tickets to somebody else. I just don't know what the price of tickets is going to be. I don't know what's going on with that. So, I mean, it's just really up in the air. It's been difficult dealing with all this stuff. It's been rough. So, and the kids ice skating. We're waiting on everything that Yakov and I have tried to do has just not worked. Tammy, I saw that prototype before it even had a name. It just had prototype written on it. I saw that knife design when it was still just on the computer. So yes. Guys, you gotta remember, like I said, there's a reason you don't see a lot of video at Chris and Elliot's shop. And that's because there's stuff up there I just can't show you guys. A lot of times there's stuff up there I just can't even think about showing you guys because I'm in an NDA with them. So yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. At first I looked at it and I was like, wow, I don't know, that's kind of the shape and this and that. But then I messed with the actual prototype. I saw the drawings and then I saw the actual prototype in hand. And at first I was like, I was like, couldn't put my finger on it. And I was like, you know what? It's like one of those things that you look at it first and you pick it up and you're like, oh, I don't know. And then you get it in hand and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. That's perfect. And so, hang on a second, guys. I forgot to do something. Hang on just a second. I had to put you on, I had to put the phone on Do Not Disturb because I was starting to get, it's funny. It's funny. We had a kid, I haven't talked to him in a long time. We had a kid that worked at the base and he was a really good guy. He was a good kid. I liked him a lot. His name was Alexander Tamarack. And we used to call him Tammy. That was his nickname. That was just it. Tammy. That's what we used to call him. So, it's been a really stressful time. Money has been fucking horrible lately. It comes in waves. I'll have a day where I make a good bit of money, and then I'll have days where there's nothing coming in. And so that makes it really stressful for the wife. It makes it really stressful for the kid, because my kid's smart. She understands our financial issues. So, I don't know, it's just been rough. And then today I've got this headache, and I know that I can't go out there and do what I want to do, which is sharpening. So, let me see. This guy, okay. So this guy, here's my React Jack in Damascus steel. As per emails, it is for standard sharpening. Also, please text me pictures after it's done so we see if we need to go to higher grit. I don't think we need to. Damascus steel is one of those ones that it's another material. Wrong bag. Damascus steel is another one of those materials that like D2, you can get away with a lower grit and you still get a gorgeous mirror polished edge, and this thing has a lot of bite. Damascus steel always has a lot of bite at the apex. It is toothy and just wants to just peel your fingerprints. It's cutting. Like at the slightest touch, it's cutting skin. The calluses on my thumbs. And so, yeah, would I like to make some more money? Yeah, but do I need it? Does he need it? No. If I was how do I want to put this? If I had not had my father growing up, a different father, I would probably easily be one of those guys that would try to upsell this guy on some higher grit sharpening. But the fact is, growing up with my father and my mother's father, my grandfather, my dad's dad was a special kind of guy. But he, he had an influence on me, but not near the influence that my grandfather on my mother's side had. I think my dad actually loved my father, his father-in-law, in a different way than he loved his father. That was, my dad loved his dad, but there was things about my grandfather my father could not stand. And he told me for years that my mother's father was probably one of the best men he'd ever met in his life. And so I took a lot from both of those guys, and a lot of that comes back. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror in the morning if I was skimming customers and bilking customers and upselling people on shit. And it's just not a good way to do business, and it's just not a good way to be a human being. So if I gotta scrape by for the rest of my life and I gotta work till I'm 90, that's just the way it is. I don't have a retirement plan at this point. This job does not lend itself to having any kind of retirement plan in effect. It's just, you got to work. I got to keep working. So it does make it nice. I do have to say, it does make it nice now that I've listened to Christopher Williamson about getting paid up front. I had been doing a lot of stuff where I would do work, and that's basically how I ran the business. I would tell you how much the final was, and then the shipping and all that. But there was a lot of times that I would do work and then people would just not pay me for weeks on end. And so I had to put that to a stop, because I realized I would do all this work and then not get paid for it. And I liked the idea. There was like, you know, when you do a hard day's work and then the reward at the end of it. So like getting paid for having done something was like a reward for having done the work. But the flip side was I was kind of screwing myself. So I had to start taking money up front. So that makes it a little bit easier on me. Like the difficulty level in this, it makes it a lot easier on me. Oh, I was gonna show you guys. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen how the Skahas are packaged. It's pretty minimal. So they come in a bag. They come with business cards for both of the company owners. And then it comes with the specs, blade hardness, cutting edge angle, usage, instructions, care. And then it just comes in a white cardboard box filled with wood shavings. Almost like a bird's nest kind of straw stuff, but it's not. It's obviously wood that has been shaved, trimmed, whittled off. So that's the same way mine came packaged. So let me see, what do we got in comments section? How many years did I do in the Navy? I was in the Navy for just shy of 18 years. I got medically retired just shy of 18 years. They discovered that the issues I was having was all part of an autoimmune disorder, and it meant that I was completely unfit for further duty. And so I got medically retired, and that meant that I got 40% of my high 3. So my last 3 years in the Navy, whatever my pay was, I got 40% of that per month. But 100 of it goes to the spousal benefits program. So like I pay an amount so that if I die, my wife continues to get my retirement check. I have to pay my dental, my vision, our medical, and my life insurance. All comes out of my retirement check. So I really don't see a retirement check, and then they subtract my VA benefit, my VA disability that's tax-free. They subtract that from stuff. I want to do it as a video, and every time I get ready to do it, something comes up. Saturday, I was going to do it, but my wife didn't feel very good and spent all day Saturday in bed. Nico and Bridget were down, so I went to Matt's house. We all hung out there. And so every time I get ready to do it, it just seems like something's going on. And then Sunday, I spent the day Sunday with my daughter, just playing around, doing stuff here at the house. So, I mean, I basically took the whole weekend off, which is out of character. What's up, Jack? Currently on a tolerance break, Jack, which is, according to my wife, apparently the unhappy times. She finds me much more pleasant under the influence of cannabis. It's getting warm in here. It was so cold earlier, and then it's just gotten, oh, that's the medicine. The medicine makes me feel flush and hot. Migraine medicine makes me feel weird. Like I just walked off. I can't smoke in the morning or I won't get anything done. So, Jack, if you ever get down here to San Diego, I got the perfect place to take you. Matt and I found a dispensary. $5 grams, $7 eighths, $7 a gram. If you get 1 gram, it's $5. If you get an eighth, it's $7 a gram. But everyone gets pre-rolled. They take all their shake and everything and stuff that's left over, and so you get a, hang on a second, I'll show you. $7 a gram, so I got an eighth. I got an eighth for 25. Oh, and you can split it. And then you get pre-rolled with every purchase. You know what? You guys ready for this? Knife content. Knife content, if you mention the word knife in the title or show a picture of a knife in the title, is automatically demonetized. Weed's not. There's weed channels all over YouTube, and they make a lot of money, millions of subscribers. And I'm like, you know, knives are tools that are not, and here's the thing, like, I'm not trying to make a big political statement, but knives are legal in all 50 states. All 50 states, not regulated with the exception of a few small minor things that are knife rules. Guns don't kill people either. Guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people. I don't know how they're doing it, because the second I put a thumbnail that has a knife in it. So, but weed content is not. Weed is federally illegal. All 50 states is federally illegal. So that means that by federal law, it is illegal, period. All 50 states. But it's not demonetized content. I don't get it. It makes zero. It's like wiping before you poop. It makes no sense. So, I don't know. It's weird. So, guys, I think that's pretty much going to be this video. I just didn't want to do a bunch of editing, so I did the God damn it, I wouldn't do any editing. This is why I didn't want to do any editing. It's migraine medicine stupidity. It shuts off the serotonin receptors in your brain pretty well. So I just didn't want to do any editing. I thought I would do it this way. You ready for this, Mike? So Michael Wallace. Ever get so stoned you walk in the shower with your socks on? No. What I did do the other day was I got really stoned with Matt, and I came home. He gave me a ride home because I wasn't safe to drive. We got high here. And so I texted him. I was like, Matt, I'm so high it feels like my teeth are humming. And he sends me a text, are you humming? And I was like, oh yeah, I am. That's why. Oh. I think that to aid the effectiveness of this migraine medicine I took, I am going to go in a dark room and go to bed. People want to boycott Benchmade from ProKnife and complain about YouTube on their iPhones. What was this? People want to boycott Benchmade for ProKnife. nations and complain about it on YouTube on their iPhones. I don't understand the correlation. I'm not picking up what you're putting down quite. Oh, so my wife, I was working till late last night, and my wife had a package. I gave it to her yesterday because I told her, look, I'm gonna be busy all day today. Can you drop this package off for me? She said, yeah, no problem, I'll take it. And she put it in her purse. Well, the thing is, when she goes to work, she has her purse that stays in the car, and then she has, yeah, I know, but here's the thing. I honestly don't give a shit about company politics. I really don't. So anyway, I gave her a package for customer stuff to go out, and he emailed me this morning. He goes, hey, do you have a tracking number? And I was like, oh, no, but my wife took it, so I'll get it from her. And so I sent her a message. She goes, oh, crap. She took my daughter ice skating after school and never dropped off the package, and that purse stayed in the car because she didn't pull it out when she got home because it's locked in the garage, and her school where she works, is under surveillance and everything. So her cars won't get broken into. And I was like, oh crap. So I had to run up and grab it from her and then come back and mail it out this morning, all while under the influence. Man, I don't know how long, I don't know if I can stay on a tolerance break. One of the strains that's in here, I think it's the Cushadelic, is so freaking strong that you can smell it on the lip of the bag, and this is a smelly proof bag. This is the bags that are not supposed to have any smell. Nah, the weed doesn't, and that's the thing. I took that migraine medicine, and it doesn't, and plus, like I said, I'm on a tolerance break. I have to. It starts getting expensive if you don't. So oh no. Rug nugs. I'm gonna save that. I need to get a piece of paper. But yes, it's I can't take both. Just treat it like coffee. No, if I treat it like coffee, I'm gonna have a problem. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta get one of my little containers for my little shake containers, because this is gonna go in with all that stuff and become part of the tincture that I made. I made a fuck, I forget what I was saying. Migraine medicine. God damn, it makes me stupid. Hang on just a second, I'll be right back. Oh, I know what happened. That is all shit that fell out of that pre-roll. Get in there, get in there, get in there. These things are great, Jack. If you don't have these are great. Put your shake, your AVB and stuff in it, and then put it in a larger container later. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna go find someplace dark and quiet to sit because the light is starting to come in this direction and it's really starting to make my head hurt. So I will probably not do any more video today. This is probably the extent of it. Yakov told me I needed to do a live feed because I have been doing it like every morning, and he's like, people have gotten accustomed to it and they'll worry and think something happened to you. So I'm going to take off and go to bed. I mean, I got a lot of stuff done this morning. There's basically only a couple knives. That little Spyderco I was saving until it got good and bright because I started and it was still kind of dark this morning. So I was like, you know what? I'll save that till later. And then my head started hurting, and then it started raining, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I got to do it. So, I did, however. Oh, guys, I sharpened Matt's Graham fixed blade with the Mastodon tooth handle. I got one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Mastodon tooth handle. I sharpened that for him. I really like this. I'm not a big fan of the Razel designs and stuff like that, but I do like this one. It's a nice little gentleman's fixed blade. It looks like a straight razor. So, and then I've got one I wanted to show you guys. Hang on a second, let me go get it. Ah, shit, never mind. I'm just gonna have to. I have a Sam Moorish made titanium and carbon fiber flipper that I'm selling for $300. The last I looked, all of Sam's knives were about 600 bucks. But the thing is, it's not that attractive a design, in my opinion. So, well, hang on a second, let's go get it. It's in my bedroom. I'll show you a picture of it. CRKT. The stubby. Is that a Moorish design? I want to get rid of this popcorn ceiling. Popcorn ceiling is fucking garbage, but it's not coming apart, so I'm not going to mess with it. It's oh, stubby Razel. So I have this one, which is a nice. It's now that because I fixed the issues that were wrong with it. Now that it's had its issues resolved, this is not a bad little knife. I've carried it a few times. Matt had it for a long time. And so this is lightning strike carbon fiber, titanium. I can't remember the steel. And once I got it to where it's not got the, so I repaired the thing and fixed the lock stick issue. I fixed the deployment issue and the blade centering. And so now it's rock solid now. But I'm trying to sell it for $300. So if any of you guys are interested, let me know. I do like the backspacer. It's kind of unique, kind of shaky. Sorry guys, that's the other thing. That migraine medicine makes me kind of shaky and feel weird. So like I said, anybody interested, let me know. Because I don't need it. I'm never going to carry it again. I'm not going to carry it. I'm going to start getting rid of stuff that I don't need to carry. I sold the Frederick Smatchet, and I've got a couple other things that I'm thinking about. Like, when was the last time I carried that? Last time I had that in my fucking pocket? Because at this point, fuck guys, I've got just like I could get rid of everything except the Ferrum Forge knives. And still have more, I'd still have more knives than I have days of the week to carry them, even if I only had my Ferrum Forge knives. So it just seems like a waste. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, there's some stuff that just won't go. There's stuff that was gifts. There's stuff that was, let's see. Let's bring this. I'm not going to put you back on a tripod. There's stuff that was gifts. There's stuff that was just simply things that I won't get rid of. And so... Oh, I'm not getting rid of that. I love that knife, and they don't make it anymore. The other one that I won't get rid of is the WE 601. They don't make that knife anymore. So, what was in here? Oh, guys, I am gonna do a video today when I'm starting to feel better later this afternoon. You guys will see it. I am going to try and capture the gorgeousness on this that is Matthew's Archbishop 2.0 that he had Elliot do a maker's choice on. So that's an etch. That is acid etched in there. So I'm gonna get with Elliot. I'm gonna do that. Ferric. I think he did it in ferric, not acid. I have a knife I want to do this on. One of my knives, one of my personal knives. And so I'm just afraid that if I don't do it right, that it's gonna come out badly and then I'm gonna be stuck. So yeah, I'm sorry, this is the Fortis 2.0. Sorry. But I wish you guys could see how, let me see, does it come out? Is the lighting in here good enough to do it? There's purples and bronze and purples and blue and just all kinds of craziness that goes on this. What was that? Controversial opinion. Their maker's choice are better than any fancy materials. Yes, I would agree. The thing that I always liked about the maker's choice was, as opposed to, oh, you're going to pay all this money so you get something nicer. No, you basically, what it allowed them to do with the maker's choice thing was you had an option to get something super fancy. But it allowed the other people that just couldn't afford a maker's choice to get a knife that was of the same quality as what everybody else has, you know? Yes, you paid an extra, I can't remember what it is, $300 or $500 extra for all that work, right? But you, your knife is every bit as nice. So basically so when they would do maker's choice, they took the same knife that everybody else was getting out of that run and they just took 10 of them and made them into maker's choice. And so it made it, yeah, it was kind of cool to have a maker's choice, but it's not like you got a custom knife. It didn't come with different materials. So, oh, there is something I want to talk about. I wish I had a picture of it to show you guys and post up. There is a guy, and I can't say his name because then I wind up with I get privacy strikes on my channel. There's a guy that has got a Maker's Choice Stinger XL. And he keeps putting it up on forums and putting it up on Instagram and showing it off, saying it is SM100. And it's got a ceramic coated blade. Okay, so that you guys know and don't get burned. This guy's name is Ronnie. That's all the further I'm gonna go with it. The guy's name is Ronnie. And I told him, I was like, look, brother, you need to change this post because this is not SM100. I'm telling you, right? It's not SM100. I sharpened every one of the Maker's Choice in that run. And I can tell you right now, they are only in 20 CV, or there were a handful in Damasteel. Those were the only two options. And he kept saying, no, I ordered it. I was the first person on the list for the Maker's Choice, and I got a choice, and I picked SM100 because that way it matched my actual, my small Stinger in SM100. And I was like, no, brother, no, you didn't. There was one of those knives, one, in SM100. And I personally know the guy that owns it, and he will never give it up. And it was plain scales, blue hardware, and it was a lefty, which his was not. It was a lefty with an SM100 blade that Elliot made as a custom and made it, and this guy bought it, and he sold it to one guy, and he's never going to give it up. And I sharpened that one as well. And the guy was like, yeah, I know you sharpen them, but like, can you ask Elliot? And I was like, I don't have to ask Elliot. I was like, I'm sitting in the shop with him right now. He's like, well, did you ask him? I was like, fine. I don't need to, but I will. And I was like, Elliot. And the guy was like, the guy didn't believe me still. I even sent him a picture of me and Elliot sitting in the shop. And he goes, no, this is not. And then he blocked me and never changed the post. He blocked me on he reported me on the Facebook forum that I was complaining about it. And I'm like, look, you are giving someone a misrepresented item. And some of them are sales posts, I guess. So if you happen to see one, Arizona Custom Knives, stuff like that, because Arizona Custom Knives is famous for letting people post up stuff and sell it and use their description. So if you tell them it's SM100, they're gonna sell it as SM100. If you tell them it's brand new in box and it's pristine, they'll sell it that way. Because I've had 2 or 3 people that are like, look, dude, can you look at this knife and tell me? And you're like, I'm like, no, that is wrong. That is all fucked up. It's been taken apart. There's scratches on the pocket clip, and they're saying new in box, never carried. So I don't think I want to go ahead and say this. It's not Arizona Custom Knives' fault per se, because they are relying on you to be honest. That light is really starting to bother me. They're relying on you to be honest when you sell things, but a lot of times, basically it's just they go off the seller's description. And so just beware. There is one out there that there's a guy named Ronnie that is touting it as an SM100 Stinger XL, and it is not. Let me see who's. Yeah, Yakov. We were talking about that on Instagram, and I argued back and forth with him, and I was like, bro, I don't. Luke Albert was telling him the same thing. I'm like, look, here's the deal. It's just you're wrong, and you need to change it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to tell you you're wrong, and you're misleading people. So, and then this week, Saturday, I think I'm gonna do some more work on the Judge Dredd knife. Like I said, all of the hardware is already the colors that I want it. I'm gonna do pocket clip, and then I'm gonna start doing all of this. I'm gonna have to do red first. I'm gonna have to mask this red off. And like I said, I detensioned the lock bar, so there is no lockup. And I did not obviously get the pocket clip tight because, but those are all things that are gonna get rectified. I'm probably gonna work on it Saturday and try and see how much of it I can get done. I'm gonna do video. I'm gonna do video because I already did a part 1. I have to do a part 2. So, guys, that's it. It's an Emerson now. Yeah, there's no detent. There's my sunglasses. I was looking for those when I was out earlier. Yeah, this weather is weird. It'll go from raining and cold to the sun just came out. It's hurting my head. So you guys take it easy. I will see you next time. I see people are starting to leave. I'm going to leave. You guys take it easy. I am going to try and do that other video today, but I don't know. We'll see.